Hello everyone, this is Cooper here with Milestone Scholars. Today we're going to learn about how to solve some of the equations we were introduced to in the last video, equations, inequalities, and expressions. If you haven't seen that video, you should definitely go check it out. Let's revisit an old equation. X plus 3 equals 15. Essentially, if you want to solve this equation, you're trying to find the value of x. So what we have to do is have x equal another number, or have a variable, which I'm going to call var, equal a number. Right? I'm going to box that in red, just so that it is very clear as that this is like the founding basis for what we're doing today. To do this, we have to subtract 3 from both sides. Now, it may be unclear at first exactly why I have to subtract 3 from both sides, so let's look at that. If you did minus 3 from this side, you would get x equals 15, and not the right side, I'm trying to say. And that's incorrect. And if you subtracted 3 from this side, you get x plus 3 equals 12, and x equals 9, and that's also not right. So what you really want to do is subtract 3 from both sides so that the equation still stands as equal. And since we already have that set up, x equals 12. You have just solved your first equation. Not too difficult, is it? Well, first of all, let's just check whether this is correct. So if you want to plug this value of x back in to your original equation, you get 12 plus 3 equals 15. And that's why I was saying the other assertions were wrong. That's why you have to subtract by 3 on both sides rather than just one side. Make sure that the equation still stands. Anyways, now we're going to try another problem, and I also encourage you, now that you've figured out how to do the first one, to try it on your own. It is x minus 47 equals 183. Remember, you want to have a variable equal to a number, so x equals something. Pause your videos right now and try that. After that, I'll go over it right now. So, what you first want to do is, actually this is only one step. Just add 47 on both sides, and you get x equals 230. And that is a correct answer. Perfect. So now we're going to move on to something a little bit more complex. We are going to try the same strategy using fractions. So here's our problem. 2/3 y plus 3/4 y equals 34. Now, this may seem too hard, it may seem like a lot, but let's think this through. We want one variable to equal a number. We know the y's can be combined as they're like terms, if you remember from last video. So let's combine them by finding common denominators. It turns out here that the lowest common denominator is 12. Now, we can multiply either fraction by what it needs to get to 12 in both the numerator and the denominator to ensure it stays the same number. So what do I mean by this? Let's try it. 2/3 times 4 on the bottom in the denominator would give you 12. But if you just try to multiply it by 1/4, then that would not be the same fraction. So if you multiply it by 4/4, however, then you are just multiplying that fraction by 1. And that's what we want, because we want to have the same fraction to keep it as the same equation. So we would get 8/12. My apologies for the poor 8. There, that's not much better. There we go. And on the other side, 3/4, you want to multiply that. What do you think we have to multiply it by? 3/3, which gives you 9/12. Now, if you wanted to add these two y's together, then you have to add both of their coefficients, 8/12 and 9/12. So we're just going to take those and take them down here. And we basically have 8/12y plus 9/12y equals 34. So that gives you a value of 17 over, actually let me give it more space really quickly, 17 over 12y equals 34. So to get rid of this, we basically need to multiply them by the reciprocal to get our answer. What does that mean? It's just the opposite of the fraction. Flip the numerator and denominator. So you'd flip the numerator and denominator, which means we have to multiply it by 12 over 17. This makes sense because this cancels out and this cancels out. Oh, that was not what I did. This cancels out. If you remember cross-canceling, to just give you y, so then you have to multiply 12 over 17 on this side. Finally, that gives you your answer, y equals 24. So, you see what we did? We have a variable here and a number here. So that seems to work out. Now, here is another equation I'm going to let you try on your own, and then we're just going to finish up with this video. Just let me erase it really quick. Oh my gosh, those little dots are really hard to get off. Cool. So, the equation is x squared plus 1 plus 5/3 x squared equals 21. Now, if you think whatever we just went over was a little bit, kind of went over your head a little bit, or you thought it was too difficult, then you can just stay with me and try and solve this one together. If not, then try and solve it on your own. So what we have to do first is think about we need to have a variable equal to a number. I'm just going to say this many, many times because it is entirely true. So let's try and get our numbers together. Let's subtract 1 on both sides to give us x squared plus 5/3 x squared equals 20. Great. Now, if you remember what we did last time, we found a common denominator and then grouped the fractions that way. This problem doesn't exactly look like there are common denominators because, hey, this is a fraction. But if you remember, this is just 1 times x squared. So 1 is actually equivalent, if you think about it, to 3/3. So this could be 3/3x squared. That doesn't look like a 3. Let me make it look like a 3. 3/3x squared. So if you add these two values together, you can just add these fractions now to get 8/3 x squared equals 20. And now you have to multiply again by the reciprocal. Let me make a little bit of space here. Times 3/8, which just cancels out here and here, times 3/8. Let's not make that confusing yet. So what you get is that your x squared equals 60/8, which is going to be 7.5. And now you can square root this. So x equals the square root of 7.5. And that is our answer. Ooh, we're going to use a highlighter function this time. So, thank you so much for sticking with us today. I highly appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, give you some constructive criticism. We greatly appreciate you just watching our videos here at Milestone Scholars. Remember that we are going to be offering free tutoring soon. So in case some of these videos are a little bit confusing, you have to ask us any questions. There's always going to be live tutoring for people in the area where we are. We'll post that later. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and make sure to be awesome today. Thank you so much.